man fell, he lost some powers. He lost some vital things. He lost complete dominion. God gave him dominion over everything. Fowls of the air, the fishes, and yet in some sense he has not really totally, completely lost that dominion, with the exception that these animals now will try to kill you. They will rebel against you. Prior to that, I guess they submitted themselves to man. Man has lost, according to the theologian, man has lost his relationship with God. That was affected. So that man was driven out of the garden and he was no longer able to relate to God as Adam did when he did not fall. And then, of course, the moral image of God in man, and this is why Christ came to the earth. The moral image in man, that ability to reflect God was also shattered. So that no human being on the planet, except he or she is born again, is able really to reflect God's image, his moral image, by living a complete righteous life. Some say he lost that. He didn't lose it. It was just defaced. But two things remain with man. Two main things that I want to look at, and yet I want to just look at one. And God has given to all human beings and remain intact this marvelous gift. All these two gifts, as a matter of fact. The first gift is a gift really of imagination. Only human beings could be the same two in one place, or in one place and in another place at the same time. You could be right here, and yet you could be walking in the Penny Savers supermarket. Only man has that ability to use his imagination. Like God the Father. God is a God who uses his imagination. That's how he came up with the idea and the image before he was created to make man. But the greatest gift that God has given to human being is the gift of choice. Human beings are the only creature on this planet who were made in the planet Earth, in the earthly realms. Because, of course, I can't say in the universe, because angels, and they have the capacity to choose. But human beings are the only creatures that God created on this earth, or this cosmos, who has the ability or the capacity to choose. It's just like God himself. God has that capacity. God chooses. He chose us, the Bible says, while we yet sinners, Christ died for the ungodly. That's a choice. He said, you didn't choose me. I chose you. Peter says that you are a royal priesthood, a chosen generation. God chose to save us because, of course, he is driven by love. But God himself, he has given to us that capacity to choose. And that capacity to choose, my friend, determines whether you succeed whether you fail, whether you live in victory, whether you live in defeat, that whether you live happy, whether you choose to live in hell, whether you choose to live in misery, that one capacity. You know, in my reflection, I reflect on this day, I realized, I said to myself, it doesn't matter what happened in your life. It's really up to you. And even listen, my friend, you have to choose to be happy. Happiness is a choice. The problem is we're looking for all kinds of things to make us happy, but happiness is a choice. To love is a choice. Don't go look at the field before you love. Love is a choice. To forgive is a choice. And wherever your life ends, the brutal truth is that it's all up to you. It's a choice. You are not a robot. Man is the only creature who eats when he's not hungry and make love whenever. To be intimate. Other creatures, there's a season when the dog is in heat. Is that right? But man is the only creature who a lion kills when he's hungry. But man is the only creature will kill just for pleasure. Will eat, as I said, when he's not hungry. Because we have this ability to choose. We are not a robot. Man has that capacity to choose. And you are the masters of your own destiny. I used to have a problem with that, thinking that way. But I want to say to you, you are the masters of your own destiny. However you end up in life is your choice. Where you are rich, which is relative, or because I'm looking at NBA this season, and we are in the season what they call of free agency. In other words, these are guys who didn't sign up for 3 or 2 years. They signed up for 1 year, or they signed up for 4 years, and now their contract, so to speak, is coming to an end, or it will end this year, and now they are now ups for, they don't have to play with the same teams. And I begin to look at their money. I see one man making $153 million for 4 years. I know how much LeBron will make this year. So I'm at 37 million. So it's relative because the guy who making 10 million, when you see the next man making 50 million, you say, oh God, boy, I'm making enough money. So wealth is relative. There's always somebody who may have a little more than you. But whatever, God himself, therefore, he calls upon us to choose wisely because you will be judged by your choices. And I want to say, as I think about it, we have 3 basic choices upon which our lives revolve. We choose what to know, we choose to be, and we choose to do. I think when you look at God's word, that's all he's asking you to do. Choose to be, choose to do, and choose to know. And these 3 areas of choices that you will have to make every day. As a matter of fact, we make choices every day. A study done by, I don't know if it was Harvard or one of those universities, says that the average person really makes 90 choices a day. The moment you awoke, or the moment you open your eyes, you choose whether to roll off the bed or to stay. That's a choice. You choose whether to brush your teeth, and then Michael Stewart said, or you will choose to bathe. That's a choice. You choose what shoes to put on. That's your choice. That's a choice. You choose whether you want to travel in this with this person or that person. That's a choice. You choose whether you want to be pale or cuckoo, whatever it is. We choose every day. And therefore God calls upon us to make some choices. He said, I present to you life and death. Choose one. Yeah. And I'm saying today, this is only foundation because I want to do this series on choices. So I'm just laying the foundation this morning. So the thing is, you are called upon. God says, choose life and death. That's your choice. He don't do it for you. Yeah. You know, let me tell you the secret. The secret of, I remember Reverend Brunn saying to us, he says, fellas, there are some things that God does and something that God does not do. And God never overrides a person's choice. He will try to initiate a move or influence the decision in a certain direction. But he cannot choose for you, because to choose for you is to violate the principle of free agency. So he says choose. It's up to you. And I've come to that conclusion. Whether he says your choice to be happy, to prosper, to progress, to succeed is up to you. I present to you life and death. Choose one. Jesus said, he said, listen, broad is the road that leads to destruction. Narrow is the road that leads to life. And his admonition was, he says, enter at the narrow path. He said, because it leads to life, it's up to you. Choose one. There is no time in your life when you don't have a choice. That sounds strange, isn't it? Man, there's no time in life when you don't have a choice. The only, I will preface by saying, the truth is that there are some things in life that are beyond your control. You cannot control whether rain falls today or tomorrow. That's beyond your control. You can't control what family you were born in. You don't have a choice in that matter. You don't have a choice in that matter. So you can't control the seasons of life. You cannot control that. But the truth is, you have control in how you respond to life. You have control. Listen, don't say the devil make me do it. That might sound a little strange, isn't it? Listen, if rain is falling, it's up to you. And then you put the umbrella over your head or you find shelter. You can't stop the rain from falling, but it's your choice to get wet or not. You cannot control certain things in life. You have no control that you were not born in wealth. But the truth is that you don't have to stay poor. You were born a sinner, but you don't have to remain a sinner. Well, I'm a poor sinner. You're only human. Listen, there can never be, every day in your life you have to make a choice. And I should have defined what a choice is according to me. You can read in a book, it might say similar thing. But a choice is always a decision and an action, the action that follows the decision between one or two alternatives. There's always an option. Wherever there is an alternative, you have a choice. If there is no alternative, well then, you don't have a choice. But there is always an alternative. There's always an option. There's always one or two ways to go. And God says that you cannot get away from the fact that you make the choice. You can't pass it on to anybody else. You can't blame it on the rain. You can't blame it on the children. You can't blame it on your wife. You can't blame it on your husband. You can't blame it on the pastor. You can't blame it on the member. The truth about life is, my friend, whoever you are, whether you grow as a Christian, however it is up to you. Amen. That's a power. Listen, my friend, you know, sometimes we come to church, but I want to tell you something. You could pray to God how much you want. And praying is a choice. But unless you, God will always, I realize that every time you pray for something, God always tell you what to do. So you have a choice. Joshua praying, crying, hey, he said, what? You might get up, boy, sit in a camp. Check it out. He said, Moses, just move forward. What are you crying to me for? And I gave you a stick. Move forward. But we have been taught wrong. And more I meditate on the Christian life and life, we have been taught wrong. Life is tri-dimensional, and I realize that you love God, you love yourself, and you love others. We have been taught to not love yourself. Nothing is wrong in loving yourself, but if you love self more than everybody else and nobody else, that's wrong. You always have to choose. Life is about knowing, being, and doing. Faith and works. Praying alone is not enough. Because everything will have been solved by prayer. All you got to do, these days they are Christianity, everybody praying. Listen, you have to pray, yes. Let me show you. My pastor told me once, Pastor Whitson, he said, and I think I told you it already, a ship was on fire. The godly man was there, and one of his disciples, he said, let's pray, Pastor. He said, boy, get a bucket. Well, I'm going to pray. You don't pray for that. Take a bucket. But while you're throwing, say, Lord, out the fire. See, there's no excuse. There's no excuse you can make in life. It doesn't matter where you are, what happened to you, what condition you're in. There is no excuse that God accepts. Adam and Eve, law of first mention. Adam and Eve. The devil made me do it. The woman, she blamed the serpent. The devil made me do it. He looked at God. He said, the woman and you made me do it. He said, if you didn't give me this woman, I would not have sinned. He said, the woman you gave me, then she made me do it. And then the snake. You know, while I was, meditating on this, God told me, God had to punish the snake. You know why? Now I leave, Dr. Forrester, he will be able to tell you what, but whether you believe is a symbol of the Satan, or whether it was a literal snake that Satan manifests himself through. But let me put you the spin that I observed. I observed when demons went into the pig went and drowned themselves. I said, I can't take you in my body. But the snake said, okay, Satan, come on, you can use me. I make myself available as an instrument for you. You could talk to me. You could talk through me. Now, you won't see that written anywhere. I don't know if anybody ever told you that, but this is what I see. You don't have to believe it, but that's my understanding. Everyone was given a judgment. So there's no time in your life, that you are without a choice. There are no excuse that you can make, especially when it comes to doing God's will. God says everyone is responsible and accountable for his choices. Choices have consequences. That's why I read the prodigal son. It's a common truth. You cannot do some things and escape. Choices have consequences. An 18-year-old I read that story, 18-year-old gave a pill to a 17 and 19-year-old, and the 19-year and 17-year-old died, and the 18-year-old was charged for manslaughter. The three of them made a choice. He chose to give it. They choose to take it. Why are you going to blame the boy? If he didn't give me son. Even though a man put a, this thing about duress, they don't know about duress. You always have a choice. If a bandit approach you and say, give me your car, you have a choice. You know what it is? Car or life. That's your choice. There is no such thing even when they attempt the coup and they say, oh, you want to do rest? They don't do rest. You always have a choice, but sometimes you're afraid to die. You're scared. And Robbie said, attack me with full force. One of them said, no. If he attack, I don't care if I go, but he afraid. Well, I guess he was thinking about Robbie's life. He was thinking about that. But Robbie said, it doesn't matter. But you always have a choice. You are never without a choice, my friends. Never, ever without a choice in this life. And so, my friend, one choice, choices have consequences. The prodigal son, the young man left home. You cannot sow, let me run. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. It's a part of life. Consequences, I will say, I know consequences always look from the point of view as negative, but you have positive consequences. Whatever you sow, you reap. One choice can change your whole life, man. One choice can change your whole life. And that was the choice, and I will explain a little bit as I come to the end. That was the choice the four lepers made. They said, why stay here and die? If we stay, we dead. If we go in, we might die too. You hear what he said? He said we could have dead. So why not take the risk? The prodigal says, after he sat in the pig pen, he said, you know what? I choose now to return. Choices are so important because they have consequences, and is that you must never choose when you are in a state of anger. Never choose when you in a moment of excitement and euphoria and you're feeling good. Some businessmen they don't have no discussion after 6 o'clock for a reason. You can't make good choices. Never make some people, their choices are driven by negative emotions. King Herod, let me just highlight a few. Building the foundation. King Herod, my friend, and there was this guy at Xerxes, the guy when you look at these guys had some tempers. They made bad decisions. Rash decisions. So we make rash decisions. Because how they're feeling right now. You see me? No. So Herod, when he was in the moment of euphoria and the dance pleased him, hear what the man said, I will give you up to half of the kingdom, anything you want. Fellas who just drink and get drunk, be careful. Don't make it on a drunk when you're not in your right mind. So now when the reality hit him, you see, oh God, you mean you really want to hear? Yeah, but you said that. In your moment of ecstasy and the moment when you were the height of enjoyment, you said some things. Never make a choice because you want to satisfy your craving instantaneously. Instantly. Esau, an example. Esau sold his birthright for a pot of stew. To be the leader, to be the blessed one. Because one day you're coming and you're hungry. You hear what? You said, what use is that to me? I died, I want food now. I want to fill my belly now, boy. That fulfillment is too long in the future. I don't wait until you die. No, I want it now. You want it, okay, take it. It's yours. I want to eat now. He sold his birthright for a pot of peas, boy. You wouldn't die, friend. You wouldn't die if you delayed the gratification. Don't say them people think what young men had in your back and all that kind of stupidness. Delay the gratification. The truth about life, it is said that people tend to gravitate to, even though they know long term it will be better, but they're going for the now, the moment. And we make foolish choices. And in the end, like Esau, we crying, but you can't change it. Let me move on. My friend. There's more to say, but I won't say that now. I'm just moving on. It's laying that foundation. The power of choice is the power to create your own destiny and world. We are the creators, the directors of our lives. It is not faith, F-A-T-E, that dictates your life. It is not anybody. It is not your circumstances, not even the devil, as I said before. God has a plan for you, but the choice is up to you. You choose what you wanted to do in life, with your life. You choose and direct and script your life by making choices, whether good or bad, or choosing to be influenced by wrong people or right ones. It's all up to you. If you fail, don't blame nobody. If you succeed, don't blame anybody. That's a tough thing, isn't it? However your life goes, as a Christian, where you are, you grow and not to grow, don't blame anybody. It's up to you.